Wednesday, it is episode 319. Say it with your soul, Obsessive Sneaker Disorder. Thanks for tuning in as you do each and every week. Yes, no matter what happens, the gremlins creep up. We, the soul doctors and Disorderlies, want to bring you the best damn show on the internet. Fuck what you heard. You can't stop us. We run things. Things not run we. So, with that, say it with your chest, say it with your soul. We speak it loudly and proudly. And you know you can rely on the soul doctors and the Disorderlies. My name is D. Wells, along with all the crew. Man, what a week, what a day. Yes, it's called OSD, Obsessive Sneaker Disorder, for a reason, because there is no cure. Believe that. Believe that. And yes, the reliever, Mariano Rivera, did sign a deal with Skechers. Yes, he did sign a deal with Skechers. He's about to get... He's like, bring the man in. I will save you. Or is it the other way around? I don't know, but nonetheless, let's get straight to it. Let's go straight to Houston because guess what? The Sneaker Summit heading to New York, Brooklyn. I'll let the man himself tell you what it is. Mr. Cadona, what's up, sir?
Man, what's up, D? What's up, Paper, OSD cast and crew, soul doctors in the house, ready to get into some. You know, I want to tell everybody it's going down next Saturday, LIU Brooklyn, the Source 360 New York City Sneaker Summit. We were selected by the Source to curate a sneaker event during their Source 360 weekend celebrating 25 years of the magazine. We're going to have Cool Bob Love in the house on the ones and twos. He'll also have some hardback copies of his 10th anniversary edition of Where'd You Get Those? Available for purchase. You can get it autographed. You know, maybe with some other little trinkets. He said he's got some stuff he wants to put on sale or display. I have no idea what he's bringing. So you may want to be there to check that out. And we also have Sneds by Ree coming from all the way from the West Coast for his very first event in New York. So I know there's a lot of Sneds out there on the East Coast that want to meet the man fresh off the Emmy.
Word up.
You know,
Absolutely.
so you're going to get your chance to do that. So this is where I break news, man. You know, exclusive announcements right here for the Disorderlies. Want to see everybody in the building next Saturday. LIU Brooklyn, sneakersummit.com has all your info. That's what I'm here for, man. Let's put the soul back in sneaker culture. You know, OSD Live, we get it in. We got a lot of news to talk about this week.
You're saying Saturday, but man, you know, I know you're burning the candle on both ends, but isn't it Sunday?
Yes, it is Sunday.
I thought so. All right, just making sure.
I'm in a time warp right now, man.
He's all good. He had the flyer up while he was talking, so he's all good.
We'll be there next Sunday. My bad.
There we go.
I get in New York on Saturday. I'm celebrating my birthday. Want to see all the people in the building.
Nice.
You know, I'm bringing friends from Texas.
Nice.
And, we're going to meet my friends on the East Coast, have a big celebration of sneaker culture and hip-hop culture. So that's what it's all about. Thanks for catching that, D. I appreciate it.
That's what we're supposed to do, man. I got your back. Exactly.
The playoff beer's going, man. I've had no sleep till Brooklyn.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, let's go straight from Houston, straight to the P, to the D, to the X. The one and only Jesse is in the building.
All right, he's doing too much right now. He's doing too much right now.
You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Don't be slipping on week one. You know what I mean?
He's doing too
in
much.
The house, and the fellas in the house. We back at it. I'm out here in PDX, Portland, Oregon, representing, of course. Man. But the home is where the heart is. So big up Patriots. Just letting everybody know. What up, soul doctors and family? Everything's good out here in PDX. Favorite night of the week, Wednesday. I get to get with the crew. We get to talk shoes. We get to talk industry. We get to do some real storytelling and break it down and show our fellow shoe people how to make a living in this world without buying shoes. So it's all good. We good.
Word up.
Nice, nice, nice. And Mr. Paper, the professor, the one and only, my mellow, what's the good word?
Welcome, Disorderlies around the world, soul doctors who are locked and loaded, ready for a wild ride. That is episode number 319.
Man.
Say it with your soul. Say it from your chest, little rugger. We here, man. Yes, Kadoma just put it out there Sunday, September 21st, a couple of weeks, the H-Town Sneaker Summit invades New York City Sneaker Summit in partnership with the Source 360. It's going to be at LIU, Long Island University, which is a dope campus, dope facility. Looking forward to having a good time. Barbito's in the house, Reed's in the house, Kadoma's in the house, H-Town's in the house, Brooklyn's in the house. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So please make sure that you holler at us about getting those tables for display or for vending, as well as get those tickets. It's going to be a dope time. You don't want to miss this. So we also have, as far as events go, I got to make sure I put that up on the screen.
Too.
What's that?
That's Sneaker Galactus's birthday on the 21st.
Yes, it is. We're gonna We're gonna do it. Kill two birds with one stone and celebrate Chad's birthday as well.
The birthday of the one Sneaker Galactus. Look at that.
Yeah, yo, all you, what is it? Is that Virgos, Kadoma? You're a Virgo?
Yeah, Virgos.
Yeah, man, it's Virgo season now. So, okay.
Yep. So, in Virgo season, of course, we move on to the next event after that, which will be the Boston Sneaker Jam on Saturday/Sunday, October 19, 2014. You want to check that out at the Seaport World Trade Center in Boston, Massachusetts. Once again, that's 2 days, Saturday 11 to 7, Sunday 11 to 6, Seaport World Trade Center, Boston Sneaker Jam. Make sure you get over to bostonsneakerjam.com. All right.
Yep. We got lots of stuff going on.
Man, I got something I want to show everybody if you guys have a minute. Give me just a second here.
Absolutely. Of course we do.
But you know, I like to get into my pickup sometimes when I pick up something, so I'm just gonna give you guys a quick review real quick. I got these Prime Knit Boost. Just picked these up from the good people at Packer Shoes. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of the Boost. Traditionally, you know, I preferred to run or walk in Asics, but these have kind of taken the cake here. And this is my first time trying the Prime Knit, and I will say it's definitely lighter. I'm not sure yet about more comfortable. I'm also not sure if it was worth the extra $60, but I am glad that I have them. So if I'm looking for something a little lighter, a little cooler, you know, I got.
Are you looking to go running in those, Kadoma, or are you just looking to style?
Well, here's what I got. You know, I've got a few pairs of the Pure Boost now, so I'm kind of cycling them out. And my first pair is like almost done. So when that one's done, then I'll.
Wait. I thought Boost wasn't supposed to get old. What do you mean it's almost done?
Oh, I mean, man, this outsole right here is pretty thin. So I'm doing like 3.5 miles a day, believe it or not, and like that, it wears out. Like I copped them when they first dropped in what, June?
So the outsole is wearing out, but the actual Boost midsole technology, they say it's not supposed to get old. It's supposed to last forever.
I mean, it's not getting old, no, but it is getting some holes in it, so it's wearing down, man.
There's no way Adidas is going to give you a shoe that works that well with an outsole that's going to have you lasting forever.
They do have Boost shoes with a bit better outsole on it, and even some of the torsion right there. Right. I forgot what that one's called, but it just doesn't offer, you know, the max cushioning that this one has. So, I mean, this has taken my performance to the next level. It's not much of a performance, but I gotta show you. I mean, when you put on a shoe and you have noticeable results, I mean, that's what it's all about, man. That's what athletic footwear strives for.
And man, that's you. Don't give this shoe all that credit.
And that, and Adidas is doing it right now with the Boost. No, I mean traditionally, you know, whenever I go out and try to run every single day, I always wind up hurting something. These have definitely helped prevent that and make me run farther, longer. You know, like I said a couple of episodes ago. So, big fan of the Pure Boost, and I'm looking forward to the Ultra Boost coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yes, as we move on, as Kadoma gives us a great segue to performance, after talking about his performance, we got to talk stocks.
Money.
Let's talk cash. Well, not cash money, but investment money. So we got big news to talk about later on in the show, but for now, we're going to go through the stocks that we watch and report on daily using the hashtag OSD Invest every day, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or later every day, as in Monday through Friday. We post the results of these stocks that I'm going to read the results of right now. These results are posted on Twitter, on Google+, and on Facebook in the OSD group every day, Monday through Friday, as an everyday business day. So make sure you guys check these out, and we'll get into the results and get the Soul Doctors to weigh in on the results of today's trading. Nike finished at $82.47 per share, up 63 cents per share today. Skechers, who D. Wells hinted at earlier with Mariano Rivera, finished at $63.76 per share, up 98 cents per share on the day. VF Corporation, Vanity Fair Corporation, parent company for Vans, North Face, etc., finished at $64.83 per share, up 10 cents per share. Under Armour, who we'll be talking about in a little while on the show here, finished at $70.12 per share, down 48 cents per share on the day. Deckers Outdoor Corporation, parent company for Uggs, Teva, a couple other companies, finished at a solid $97.13 per share, up $2.40 per share on the day. Strongest performer out of all the stocks we watched today. Foot Locker Incorporated finished at $56.79 per share, up 30 cents per share. And we have a little bloody stretch right here where the axe comes out just a little bit, with Adidas AG on the OTC market finishing at $37.16 per share, down 13 cents per on the day. Puma AG on the ETR market finished in euros at 189.50, down 30 cents per. eBay Incorporated on the NASDAQ finished at $51.10 per share, down $1.63 per share. It's a pretty serious cut for them on the day. And last but not least, on the NASDAQ also is Finish Line, finished at $29.95, up 4 cents on the day. So once again, these stocks results are published every day, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or later, on Twitter, on Google+, and on Facebook in the OSD group. So Monday through Friday, make sure you check on these. And also, as we always do, with our hashtag OSD Invest, when you check these stocks, please at the same time consider investing. Make sure that you guys can pass up at least 1 or 2 releases, and you'll have enough money to get into this game. And a few, if not possibly all of these stocks that you can find a way to play in and win on both sides of the game. So,
Paper, let me ask you something. How much would you suggest starting out with for like a beginning investor? You say miss 1 or 2 releases. What do you think? I've heard the rule of thumb is like at $1,000, but I'm not sure if that's necessary.
No, not necessarily. When I say 1 or 2 releases, with the benchmark being on average now between $225 and $250 for LeBrons and Jordans and all that kind of stuff, around $500, you got enough money to put a solid investment into jumping into the game. And just by passing up 2 releases and putting that money, keeping that money in your pocket, and then a couple weeks later going to find out either through some online brokerage or something like that. But, you know, again, we're here. Soul Doctors are here. That's what we're here for. For anybody who's interested, contact us. They'll help you out.
Would you spread that around, or maybe pick a brand that you have the most confidence in?
You want to play the game, you want to play the game. So you can't play the game with one card.
Okay. And then the other thing I was going to ask you about, Nike just made a big hoopla about their Q1 earnings. Can you tell us a bit about that and maybe why they did that?
I actually didn't see the earnings report, so I can't really talk on it. But I mean, just based on what we report every week, for anybody, you know, yourself, or anybody who's watching and seeing the related articles and stuff, we already know where they are in terms of their place in the market. And we're about to report on, with our next story, we're about to report on the gap between them and, as far as the U.S. goes, the new number 2. So, I mean, so some things go without, you know, having to think too much about before you decide to find a way to get in. So, you know, again, and this surprises me. Still, you know, we still, all of us, Soul Doctors, shake our heads at this. You guys know it's been 3 years we've been every day reporting on stocks, and we're the only ones in the industry who still do this for footwear stocks. 3 years.
Good. Keep it that way.
Well,
let the pros handle this.
Well, Kodoma, one of the big things you asked about the Nike reporting their numbers, and this is a segue right into our next segment and story, is basically Nike is so far ahead of everyone else that it's really going to be hard for anyone to catch up. I mean, we're talking somewhere Nike to the tune of basically had sales at $8.9 billion. Yep. $8.9 billion in sales for the first period, compared to, when you talk about, a company like Under Armour that's been doing it. I mean, yeah, they've had a great, year to say the past, 15, 16 months. They have jumped up. I mean, when they started off, help me out, y'all. Under Armour kind of jumped on the scene 95, 96.
Yeah.
Under Armour, and this was amazing for me to find out. Under Armour is actually 29 years old.
Damn.
Really?
Yep. I mean, excuse me. No, not 29. 19.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Bruh,
19.
For 20 years in the game, is that a lot of people wouldn't give him that kind of credit.
So think about it this way. So Under Armour has jumped up. They've basically taken over the number 2 slot from Adidas. Adidas sales have actually fallen roughly 23%. Nike keeps churning up the field. 8.9 billion in sales. Okay, a company that's been around the block since '96 is actually now. Guess what? That Kevin Durant thing. That actually was great marketing on their part. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
It was actually. What has it done? It's basically proven that. That you could put a dent in the armor. Can they put a dent in the Nike armor right now? No, but you know what? They gave Nike a good scare. We did see that.
Yeah.
That was
totally.
They definitely told Nike. They told Nike, "Yo, we're here." They're like, "Yo, we're here," and people are looking at us. We are getting a different kind of engagement from the consumer, and you cannot fall off. Do not get comfortable because you've got that cushion. Because some hungry people out here, and there's a lot of people in a lot of industries that are part of the footwear industry that appreciate that streetwear, everything. It's like, yo, let's give these people a run for their money.
Yep. Allow me to read the story, which is what Dee is making reference to. This was courtesy of Business Insider when I found this. When I, found this news and sent it around to the Soul Doctors a few days ago, and I used the title in the email to you guys. Shit just got real. And it did. And here's, the story with some assistance from the Wall Street Journal. And I'm going to read a little bit of it like this. Under Armour has surpassed Adidas to become the second biggest sportswear brand in the U.S. by sales, the Wall Street Journal reports. Baltimore-based company has overtaken German rival with sales growth of 20% to $1.2 billion so far this year. Over the same time period, Adidas sales have fallen 23% to $1.1 billion, according to the Wall Street Journal. And as Dee stated, Nike is still far ahead of both companies with $8.9 billion in sales for the period. While Under Armour, who's best known for performance wear, has grown rapidly over the last 18 years, when it was founded in 1996 and had $17,000 in revenue. So in 19 years, 18, almost 19 years, it went from $17,000 in revenue to $1.2 billion. 19 years.
Man.
There's no footwear company around that's done that. No, excuse me, not footwear company. There's no sportswear brand that's done that in the last 19 years.
Yeah, that's man. 17,000 in revenue when they first started. Look where they are now.
Yep.
In 20 years, when you start getting a little age under you, like some of us, 20 years ain't jack. 20 years is nothing. You believe that? 20 years.
So, and as Ridiculous tells us often when he reports in from what's going on in the Midwest, Under Armour's strength really has gained traction with women. And even says here, Under Armour recently snagged a deal with supermodel Gisele Bündchen shortly after launching its largest ever global women's marketing campaign. And earlier this year, Under Armour scored the biggest equipment deal in college sports. So, despite losing the bid for Kevin Durant, and Kevin Plank said so himself, that was cool because we made Nike spend $150 million more than they wanted to on him.
Yep. And we got Notre Dame. That's the biggest college deal they're talking about. Just for those who don't know.
So,
Catholics run a lot of things in this country.
And he was bold enough to say. He was bold enough to say when he spoke with Bloomberg TV's Stephanie Rule. I watched the interview. He said we're going to grow 20% plus next year with or without the Kevin Durant deal. Man. So they're already getting their money. And he says, quote, "We wanted to send a message to every athletic director, to every president of every team club, to every league commissioner that if you have a deal, there's no deal too big for us."
Loud and clear.
Yeah, that's like one of those like drop the microphone. Yeah,
boom
for you.
Boom. That's it.
Hey, and honestly, that whole "we coming" thing, they here, man. They're not coming. They here. Yeah. The call is coming from inside the house, ma'am.
I don't know if you guys noticed it or not. There's a lot of, like we watch the industry, there's a lot of people changing and title changing going on. I mean, it always happens, but definitely perked up a little bit. Let me tell you something. That Gisele commercial, not the little teaser, but the commercial, I don't know if you guys have seen it, where she's against the heavy bag with all the Twitter behind her. That commercial is heavy.
Bruh, I'm telling you, even before Gisele, more impressive to me was the ballerina.
The ballerina is dope. But that commercial, in terms of marketing and finding a way to channel social media directly into your marketing with a certain demographic, everything about that commercial spoke to women in that demographic, and it was dope.
Here's again, as a marketing pro, I see what they're doing and I applaud it. And for the general public who might not notice this, let me enlighten you. Who is Gisele Bündchen, folks?
Tom Brady's wife.
Mrs. Tom Brady.
Yep.
There is no other clearer aim than to say Golden Boy on the football field and his wife. They are locking down the household. Yep. That's exactly what they're going for. A clear aim at the soccer mom.
Yeah, but think about all the terrible things that are going on. You got our boy Ray beating on his wife, but you got Tom and Gisele over here working out, having kids, living better, and they put her in this commercial and they put all of this negative Twitter behind her, and was like, "What else you got? What else you got?" Because I'm still living. You're like, "Yo, that's." It was clear.
I almost feel like giving this one to Under Armour. And I hate to kick a man when he's down, because I'm sorry to hear about, the entire situation with Ray Rice and his wife. But because he was on Nike, and Under Armour could have really made a play for this. Now that you got, like Ridiculous said, you got the golden boy on the football field and the model wife, on the catwalk.
Yeah.
If Under Armour creates a commercial now where he's wearing his jersey, that hurts.
Yep. Oh, don't think that they ain't put her out there like that. I saw her on Jimmy Fallon 2 nights ago.
Yep.
And when they ask a question, she is not. When they ask about her family, she's not a supermodel. This woman starts talking about football. She starts talking about how Tom is after a game and during practice. She's a full-on sports wife and a mom.
Yeah.
And that's sexier to men because they know what they're going after. That's sexier to men than a catwalk model who's untouchable. Oh wait. She's a mom? She's a MILF?
But now all of a sudden you got football players or football fans got their girl on the couch that wants to watch the game with them or something. I gotta go get her some of this underarm Giselle gear because that's what it is. You know what I mean? That's what's hot right now. If you're an NFL female fan, you want to look like Giselle. Yeah. Period. You ain't think about nobody's brand.
Yeah.
And one other thing to point out that I've noticed in just watching for a few days with football so far, well, last year the NFL was really kind of strict on branding on footwear on the field. A lot of brand logos are flying on feet in this year's NFL, and I'm seeing a lot of UA.
A lot of UA. I don't see no Jordan.
But I think what happened is NFL and Reebok, when that whole deal went away, I think there was some underwriting when it came to what logos couldn't be shown. And I think a lot of that was Reebok's own insecurity, trying to keep other logos from being seen. Right. I think that the NFL was probably smart enough to know that so many of those players have individual endorsement deals that you're actually hurting your product by eliminating that portion of it, by not allowing other logos to be seen. So I think when this Nike deal was made, I think the NFL pulled that little piece off the table. At least that's what I would have done.
I mean, it opens the door for the NFL to get all that much more marketing because now any of those brands that feature their players have on the jersey and they're going to get money. You couldn't do that before, so yeah.
Exactly. Like that flag over the shoulder bullshit from '92 Olympics.
That's why Nike took it. That's why Nike got into that. They got the everything on field and they have their select players, but man.
Well, while we're talking about uniforms in football,
new era hats, boy.
I love it. Keep doing it.
Down in the DMV area. What's up, homie? He just sent me this link to the new look Under Armour football uniforms for the Maryland Terrapins.
Yep, crazy.
Inspired by the Star Spangled Banner.
Yep. And is that the declaration, or is that the Star Spangled Banner scrawled on the shoulder? Is that the writing of the Star Spangled Banner?
No, that's dope.
Keep doing the craziest stuff, Under Armour. I don't care if nobody likes it. Keep pushing it. Please keep pushing it.
What does it say? Yeah,
it's the words from
yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
And it's in the original script handwriting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Star Spangled Banner.
That's nice.
What's up with that logo on the helmet though?
Wow.
I would have left that off and just let the whole helmet be completely open, or just with the writing, but still. That's great.
Look at the cleats.
Yeah.
Those are crazy too.
So that's actually that logo on the side of the helmet is actually a terrapin with the stars and stripes painted over it.
Oh, it's the terrapin in the form of a star. They made their turtle into a star.
Yep. And the same script writing is on the helmet.
Keep doing it, Under Armour. Y'all crazy.
Yeah, that's good. That's really sharp.
Like I said, I don't care how ugly they are. I love the chances that they take. Because, mind you, we've talked about this before. Don't let everybody fool you with the I'm watching for Oregon's uniforms every weekend. The sports announcers and everybody used to talk so much head about them uniforms. It took time for people to modernize their thoughts with that look. Keep doing what you're doing, Under Armour.
This is a really exciting time in sports apparel, but in particularly for us, athletic footwear. This is really an exciting time because there was already a frenzy over what was going to happen with Durant. And despite him deciding to take a $50 million golden cane into retirement, which was really the difference maker in that deal, and then to see sharp on the heels of that, UA being like, all right, well, we still got number 2 spot. So what? And then to see the crazy things that they're doing to gear up for college football season. And then you got Giselle, and you got Tom, and you got Stephen Curry, and you got a new NBA season coming. They have all of the perfect storm of everything going for them. And it's just for us who care about the business side of it, and we watch it, and it intrigues us. It's a very exciting time. For every other aspect of sneakers, it's quite boring. It's really boring. For anyone who just cares about LeBrons and foams and Jordans and anything else from Nike just by itself, this is probably the most boring time yet right now for sneakers.
That's so sad because it as a business, as in the business sense, it makes what we care about so much more viable. The business of it is moving right now.
Because check this out. This is the stark perspective of what it is. Even though Adidas is a global company, it's always been acknowledged as a global company, no question about it. But Adidas is 65 years old, and they have some of the most history-breaking moments in sneakers, in sports history with their brand in that 65 years. Some things of which they set the standard that hasn't been surpassed yet today, like the herringbone pattern on the bottom of Superstars. That created the standard for what good traction was on a basketball shoe. But to see them now get passed by a company that in 1996 made $17,000 to get past.
They're doing billions.
Yep. And now they're putting B's in front of their numbers.
Exactly.
In just 19 years, just about. To see that shit is intriguing, fascinating, and fun to watch.
You know what I think is interesting about what's going on right now, and it is an exciting time. I think a lot of us here have a sports background. I know Ridiculous and I still talk about it, and Leo does at times, and Kadoma's out there running, and D coaching the sports. There was an excitement around what we were doing sports-wise that generated our love for footwear. It really didn't have anything to do with streetwear or fashion or what we thought was cool. It was what we needed to perform and enjoy our time on the pitch, on the floor, on the court, or what it may be. And the company that has stayed true to that the most right now and is not having a problem with that is Under Armour. Because they don't have any sportswear, and they're kicking everybody's ass. And all you see from the other companies is how can we operate better in the sportswear instead of letting our connection with sport inspire us in that area. And it's very clear in my eyes.
Yep.
I agree. That's definitely what's working for their business model is they're getting back to basics. This is actually what Nike used to do. You know what I'm saying? Where they focused on just the sports. So I definitely agree with that, Jesse. You make a great point.
Well, and they stay in their lane and find out that the traction is real good in that lane. The overreach into other things. Sure, that you're gonna have that happen. You're gonna get curious. The one thing I love about Adidas is they do it in an innovative way that probably won't benefit them for another 20 years. They push the boundaries on that innovation front, which is awesome. But with Under Armour, you're gonna get some sneak peeks at things. You're gonna cross over a little bit, but they sometimes get smacked back into their lane. Sometimes they choose to stay there, but the flow is real good in their lane, and you don't make that much. They're the Backstreet Boys of sneakers, y'all. You don't sell that many shoes, and everybody claiming they hate you.
Yep.
Everybody claiming they don't listen to Backstreet Boys.
I like that. The Backstreet Boys.
They don't sell a billion records with nobody listening to it.
True.
That's dope. I like how you just put that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys this, and this is gonna mind boggle you guys, but this is real. It really happened to me twice already since last week with the buzz. Two boutique owners called me and asked me what they need to do to get Under Armour accounts. Boutiques. Notice I said boutiques.
Yeah. Wow. Y'all know I stay true to my Under Armour eyewear because a good friend of mine is a designer. But I've actually had a boutique ask if Under Armour would be at a at a fashion event market for eyewear because of what they've been doing on that front too. It's crazy.
So what does that say when boutiques? Now this is just two that contacted me. Not saying I'm the end all be all on people calling for this kind of shit, but I'm in New York. And two boutiques in New York, the owners have called me and asked me what they need to do to get Under Armour accounts.
Well, to me it says what Jesse highlighted a little bit, and I'll expand on it. We weren't concerned back when it was purely sportswear, when we needed that gear to perform on the court, because it was your exploits on the court or the field that made it worth anything anyway. Leo, you know how it goes. You're a ball player. You saw a cat rocking some Jordans and he couldn't play. He had to step from getting his ass whooped.
It was that much worse for him. Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If you knew you couldn't ball, it was almost better. Like, I used to have to tell one of my partners, like, he always had the kicks. We was always into the kicks, and I was like, dude, don't wear this good shit out here, because, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're not dope, you know, you can't play, but, you know, you're not on that level yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, wear some of your beat-up shit so they don't expect nothing out of you, because back in the day, if you wore that good shit, they looking at you like, oh, shit, this motherfucker, yeah, he a little small, but he must be quick. He must be able to get steals and defense.
He got
on that court, niggas be like, man, take them damn shoes off, man.
I remember clowning cats like that, like, you out here in these pumps.
You're right. You're so right. But it's funny because that's just the way we used to look at kicks back in the day, because it wasn't just about fashion and streetwear. It was about, hey, can you perform? Because of what not just MJ, but what Barkley, Ewing, what a lot of these cats were doing on the court. And I take it back to basketball because that's where my roots were. But we can take it further than that. Dion, you know what I mean? With the stuff that he used to wear, and the turf shoes and stuff like that. So if you had those kicks, it was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude is dope. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't put those added expectations on yourself if you can't live up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Armband this and neck.
Oh man,
strap that. Come on,
day, it's funny because when I ball, I'm a rugged baller. You know what I mean? I wasn't as good as some of the other cats, but I just knew the game. I had a good feel for the game, and that got me through. But when I came out there, you know, I would have on some. It really wasn't about. It never has been about wearing dope kicks for me. It was about whatever's going to perform.
Exactly.
And like we know, I always talk about the story about the only Jordans I've really hooped in were the 12s. And the 12s were dope because the 12s was that one of those shoes. There's not a lot of shoes out there that everybody can wear, whether it be a guard, a big man. You know what I mean? Like, so I couldn't rock with the guards rock because I wasn't quick enough to do that. You know what I mean? I had to have something that I could strap up and go to war.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what it was about. It wasn't about trying to be, you know, and I wasn't ever into the headbands, the armbands, and all that good looking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was
the sleeve.
Right, you know, but look at me. Look at me, dog. Think about it.
That's why
they used to call my nickname was Baby Barkley. So you didn't see Barkley on the court with all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Like Barkley came there and we stepped on the floor, you knew he was about that business. He was about that work. Like that boy from Seattle. Hey, I'm about that work, boss. You know what I'm saying? I'm about that action, boss. You know, that's kind of how it is. You know, he's not wearing all that extra shit because it's like, listen.
And that's what it did, is it validated the style and the importance of those kicks and those shoes and that gear. It was made valid by the exploits on the floor, on the field, on the court. So if you rocked your Jordans after the game, you were probably getting props about your game. It was almost shameful if you had a pair of Jordans and could not ball.
But I want to say this: at some point, the performance shoe became the lifestyle shoe.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It was validated by what it was made cool by what was its history in the field.
And do you think you can pinpoint that, Kadoma?
I don't know what it's got to be like Jordan creating his magic.
It was 11. It was a Jordan 11 when Boyz II Men stepped on the BET Award or the Soul Train Music Awards in tuxedos. King Tinker told that himself.
That took it to another level, but I think it started with the 3. Because you remember used to see cats with the 3s like with suits. You know, I remember seeing cats with suits wearing the 3s like, yo, what the like wow.
Are we talking about when it went from Kadoma said when it went from
performance focus to the lifestyle. I mean, the performance shoe became the lifestyle shoe, and then it took a life of its own. And why I'm touching on that is because Heat said that Nike has strayed away from the performance stuff and Under Armour's doing it. I don't really think Nike or Jordan Brand ever intended to stray away. It just kind of took a life of its own.
Well, let me say this. I don't know. I don't know if they necessarily. I don't know if they necessarily strayed away from it. They just lost focus on it. Like the thing is, they still do it, and I do appreciate the new technologies and things of that nature. But it's like they are. How can I put it? You know. Like my father used to tell me, hey, stay focused on, you know, what you're trying to get good at. Don't stray and do everything. You know what I'm saying? Get good at one thing, then move on to the next thing. And the thing is, it's like Nike felt like, hey, we're good enough in performance where we can do this other stuff. And they lost focus. I'm not going to say they stopped doing it. They're just not focusing on it like they used to. Their focus is spread out. They're trying to do a lot of different things.
I hear you, but I don't think they would agree with you.
I don't think
they're not going to agree.
That's like telling a mom their kid is ugly. She's not going to agree with you.
Right. My baby's cute. My baby's beautiful.
So now we see the signature.
One at a time, guys.
Now we see the signature players. They have a lifestyle shoe, and they're trying to push the performance shoe back to the performance shoe.
But that lifestyle shoe ain't selling, Kadoma. That ugly ass lifestyle KD.
Hey, they said elites weren't gonna sell either.
No. Elites sold. That's a totally different segment. That lifestyle KD.
Did they?
Lifestyle, man, them things don't sell for shit.
How about even elites don't sell until they gonna sell?
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that too. Like I said, to me, it's gotten lazy.
What I was getting at was, for me, and I talk about this. I had, it was 2 kicks a year. I'm talking about elementary school. 2 kicks a year, and of those 2 kicks, one was to wear daily, and the other one was for whatever sport you performed in. If it wasn't a cleat, so if I was gonna play basketball, I got 1 pair of basketball shoes. I got my cleats, and then I had a pair of shoes that I could wear to school that was supposedly clean. But at some point, once basketball was done, I could all of a sudden wear that shoe on a regular lifestyle, a regular shoe, okay? That's when the turnover happened. They used to make shoes that were so good that once you were done with your 3 months of sports, it was like, well, let me clean them up, and then I get to wear them, and it was like, wow, you got on some nice shit. So they made performance shoes that were good enough to be worn as lifestyle shoes.
And the truth is, Jesse, you probably had a story about them kicks. If I wore my J's later on in the school year, most of my classmates saw me dunk on somebody.
Or something.
Most of my classmates saw me do something in them. If I rock my Tailwinds or my Air Pegasus or my A6 Gel 3s, then most of my classmates saw me win state in those shoes.
Right.
So I had exploits that validated what they were about. Exactly. Lifestyle and sports were closer together at that point.
Well,
the lifestyle was inspired by the sports.
Right.
It was inspired. The inspiration for those designs came from what the athletes
were
doing.
It's like
so they're not losing focus, but it's just not important to them anymore because they have this whole lifestyle area. It explains the retros.
And it's like
gentrification. Retros aren't remakes. They're just old shit that other people liked before.
Dude, it's like gentrification. The cool kids all chased the artists. The artists moved. The cool kids kept chasing. That's what happened with sports. All the kids wanted to look and dress like the athletes who were doing big things. That moved the needle further that direction.
That's a great example, Ridiculous. I want to say this piece before we move on, because we could be on this issue for a couple of hours tonight.
Right.
One thing, and this is something that I think there's no wrong answer to the question Kadoma asked, and everybody's giving a different answer of sorts coming from a different perspective.
Right.
Well, here's two things we have to remember that I think are key in the actual factual about the issue, in particular with Nike. Because they have been so far ahead of everyone else for so long right now. And let's think back to when Sharice Thornhill was on the show. Do you guys remember what market she works in? She works in emerging markets.
Emerging markets, that's what it is. Yeah.
So the question Kadoma asked, when did shoes turn from actually sports specific to lifestyle shoes? Was Nike's actual emerging market.
Yep.
And they were the only ones that had that game. Because we were the ones who decided when we were done with wearing them for sports, which was the only reason the shoes were made to begin with, they weren't made for any crossover at all. There's not one designer who made a shoe at Nike and said, these are going to be great off the court. And, I say there's no wrong answer to that because we heard Tinker himself say on this show the story about him with Michael with the 11. So there shows that there was a little bit of consideration in terms of a look. But Mike still had to play in that shoe. So at the end of the day, it was still a sports-geared shoe. But we were the people who we repurpose things in the urban community, and we determine what we make those rules. We don't allow people to make rules for us. That's one thing about urban fashion that's going to exist until this planet no longer exists. You don't tell us how we going to wear shit.
True.
Right.
True.
We create the trends more than anybody else.
And that's something that people like Matt Powell, when he does his numbers, he doesn't understand because he never lived it.
Right.
So when he reports on his numbers and he's having arguments with people on Twitter saying that has no impact, that person has no impact, that market has no impact. There's no numerical formula for us saying we fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? You can't quantify that in numbers, but you can ask companies, no disrespect, the companies like Fila, companies like Lotto, companies like who were we talking about last week, Troop. You can ask companies who were reaping real benefits behind us rocking their shit for
off the cosign, off that street cosign,
and then we simply flicked the lights out on them,
turned them
out.
Dark, turned them dark. We were talking about LS and others like
out.
That.
We flicked the lights out for no reason. How do you quantify that? You can't quantify that in a number because you're not living it the way we're living it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say there's a right answer and there's a wrong answer because you can look at certain shoes that show the example as far as a timeline, but there's no real answer because no one ever really figured out why we've turned away from certain brands. There's not one brand out now that isn't around that came back that said, yeah, we know where we went wrong the first time. No, you don't, because we don't know why we stopped fucking with you. Because we got tired of your shit.
You know what I like about that, though, Pape?
What's that?
The ones that have stayed have something to fall back on. Adidas could have a shitty year, and they will still always be the first. They will still always be Jesse Owens. They will still always be Mexico 68.
Right, and ahead of all that, they're still a global company.
Right. And so we can dim their lights, but they could always go back to the source. Like what Kadoma's saying about Nike. I don't think Nike even lost focus. I think they just got lazy. When Zoom was in a Zoom 95 and it's still in my fly knits right now, there's no innovation. They just got lazy. They're resting on their laurels, but the fact is, if you tried to turn their lights out, they could always go back to pedigree. British Knights couldn't do it. Troop couldn't do it. Lotto couldn't do it. So like you're saying, it's unquantifiable.
They are the ones that had an emerging market before everyone else knew what an emerging market was. Yep. So that's why Nike gets pinpointed for it. But the truth be told, the brands who will try to make a shoe for lifestyle, quote unquote sneakerheads, whatever you want to call them, where are they all now?
They're fickle. They're impulsive.
Yeah, that was the downfall of Reebok.
And just to bring this full circle, that is why it is so interesting and intriguing to see a brand like Under Armour focusing on performance.
Yep.
You know, burst onto the scene, and in 20 years, they're challenging Nike for arguably their most marquee basketball athlete.
Well, if you look at what they started with, and I remember reading this quote from the head of Under Armour when he got interviewed about the rise of his company. At its very basic, he said, "We made money getting football players, the manliest men on the planet, to wear a dancer's uniform, skin tight uniform underneath their stuff. At their basic, their mantra is in their name. That whole thing could come crashing down, and they will still make underwear for sports athletes and have something to live off of. Yep. Pedigree goes a long way."
So we're gonna move on to this next story. Speaking of, we already went from number 1 to number 2. Now we got to talk about number 3 for a minute.
They did that on purpose so they can get the 3 stripes. That's what I would have told them. That's what I would have told.
That's what I was thinking too.
I would have told them. That's what I would have told them.
Adidas and Pensole started a partnership on a 3-week design program this week called Earn Your Stripes, which started yesterday. So it's gonna go on for 3 weeks out in Portland. Shout out to Dwayne Edwards, the staff at Pensole, and the design team and the folks over at Adidas. And if you guys notice anybody familiar in that picture on the far right is Mr. Alan Largen, designer for the Future Soul Mellow M7. He is one of the people in this program, along with a few other folks who I believe are a couple of our Pensole alum also. But Nice Kicks will be documenting on a daily basis a recap of the experience here for Adidas and Pensole's Earn Your Stripes. So this is week 1 recap on Nice Kicks. So stay tuned, for recaps for the next 2 weeks also for the coverage on that. So shout out to Nice Kicks, shout out to Pensole, shout out to Adidas. This is a good thing because you guys are tapping into the future, and sometimes you guys need it. Just sometimes.
In other news, I saw that Adidas is finally moving their design headquarters from Germany to Portland.
They're moving their design director.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We talked to somebody when I was up there on my excursion. I talked to somebody about that.
Yeah.
It's, there's definitely. I interviewed there a couple of weeks ago, so there's a realigning going on, and this is part of it.
So it's really interesting to, again, it's an exciting time for those of us who care about the business side of it, to see the moves that are being made and the reactions from one company to the next. Portland's going to be a hotbed for it because, as we mentioned on the show, Under Armour has moved some of their basketball division to Portland. So they have talent from other companies working for UA in Portland now. Just saying.
That's like fishing in a barrel, I guess. I don't know.
There are definitely other categories out here also.
There's other categories, but I tell you what, props to Dwayne. That's all I'm gonna say. Props to DE.
So
he's moving that needle.
Also, as reported, at least what I saw, through Nice Kicks today, they brought to our attention that today, September 10th, is the 24th anniversary of the first episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. How about that, guys?
Wow. Nice.
September
24
10th.
years? Jeez.
That's crazy.
The first episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was 24 years ago today. With Will rocking a various array of Jordans, fives in particular. Now let me ask this question. Dead
Crazy.
honesty.
1990? Wow.
I want everyone to be honest with us because, of course, with social media and the booming documentation of everything sneakers over the last 5 to 7 years, I'm going to ask this question because it was a good show, not for any other reason. When we all were watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, were we really checking for what was on Will's feet?
Oh,
towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, toward the
end. Towards the end of the series, I think we were. I think we got used to. I think we started to look forward to see exactly what he had on because we got accustomed to him rocking. The latest J's or whatever.
Here's what it was for me, because I never could afford J's. For me, it was the similarity. It was people often got on Will Smith's case for being soft, for being this, for being that. But to me, that was really a lot of the appeal. Is he was kind of this everyman kid from the hood. Like you didn't have to be hard, you didn't have to be this. Most of us wasn't. That was such a caricature, further away from what he was as a caricature. Right. So for me, it was checking for, cross colors, Nike. The Jordan stuff. He always had something fresh on where I could say, I saw somebody rocking that, yesterday. That is dope. Will Smith is rocking that. It was less about the specific shoe and more about the overall style for me of him being kind of this, like I said, this every man, this every kid from the hood. Like I could see myself in his shoes, literally and figuratively.
Go ahead, dude.
I used to always pay attention to what he was wearing because it was like, again, you're talking 1990. You think about the Bulls. I think about just sports. I think about tennis, what was big. And then I think about, I used to remember sending the VCR to record Yo MTV Raps because I would never come home on time from practice, whatever sport or doing whatever. So, and I used to do that. I used to watch what Will Smith was wearing on his feet, what Eric B. and Rakim were wearing on their in their music video. Even think about it. Think about just album covers. Album covers were a fashion statement. You think of KRS-One. You think of Eric B. and Rakim. I think of EPMD.
Yeah.
Roxanne Shante. MC Light.
UTFO for sure. So many.
Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane.
Oh yeah, everybody had a floor-length MCM knockoff. They had it.
More than anything, with Will Smith, I think what he did for me was I knew a lot of people from my city, and like D is just saying, I loved Yo MTV Raps and to the same extent Rap City, where it was I loved looking, kind of peeking at the window of what other cities were doing. And so when I saw Will Smith, he was so flashy and flamboyant with some of the colors and stuff that he did. It kind of was like, wow, so these cats in Philly are doing this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at it as Bel-Air was doing that because he was from Philly. So it was like, wow, so Philly cats, this is how they doing it. You know what I mean? So it was almost like a peek into what other cities were doing and other cities were doing at the time. And this was before, of course, the internet and, like I always tell people now, the world is a lot smaller because of the internet now. But back then, you watch TV to see what other cities were doing.
That's a good point. I never so badly in my life wanted to go to college until I saw a different world.
Oh man, that solidified college for me. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
I'm like,
that
I'm
solidified. Like my parents always told me, you're going to college because both of them went to college.
Right.
Yeah, but it was like once I saw that, I was like, okay, now I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's do this.
Interesting that you put it that way. Is that was almost Will Smith was almost like our Google. Like, look it up.
Right.
What was he wearing? What did this cat from this city in another town? Wow, he's displaced. You know.
And to piggyback on that even more, I think Nike and Jordan might not even have anything to do with him wearing it like they do nowadays, where they give this stuff to people.
They did.
But I think it was a glimpse into the future where they saw it as well. Like, okay, like this cat is people are really noticing him for wearing this stuff. This is great marketing for us. You know what I'm saying? Like it almost kind of started the whole. Let's get this stuff on certain people so people can see them wearing it.
This is another subject paper that we could go hours on because I often think about it also in terms of this kid was forced into a prep school out there in Richard and Rich, California in Bel-Air. I sure enough got in trouble at my prep school for trying to rock my blazer inside out. I ain't even gonna lie.
Well, see, here's the funny thing about this, and I said it to somebody earlier without giving the reason why. I noticed what Will Smith was wearing, but I was never checking for it. And I watched the show from the beginning to the end. And the reason why I say that is because it was 1990. Will Smith wasn't wearing anything that I wasn't already wearing myself.
True.
So, to piggyback and throw in my 2 cents,
to see him wearing it on television.
I think that's more like what it was, D. For me, I wasn't checking to see if I could go cop it. I was checking because I identified with it. I'm like, that's what I see on my block.
I had to make sure my closet was on point. So if Will had it and I had it, we good. You know what I mean? So to answer Paper's question, yes, I was that much of a head, and I was like a closet head at that time because I don't think anybody really understood. I'd pick pictures to put on my wall from Sports Illustrated based on what the sneaker was. I had all those early Nike ads of Nolan and Bo Jackson up there because the kick was hot. Not because I knew what they did, because the kick was hot. And so when this came on, I definitely looked at every single one of his shoes. Yeah, for sure.
Let me ask you a question, Pape. How old were you back then, though?
I just graduated high school.
Okay, and see now that's the difference because I hadn't even entered high school. I was like middle school, so it's like. At that time, that's when I was grinding, trying to get that stuff because I couldn't necessarily afford it.
Right.
So I was cutting grass like a motherfucker just to see if I could cop. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe cop the J's.
Right.
But I couldn't get those early on. My mom. Like I said, my mom bought me one pair of shoes, and she was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not buying this shit. This is crazy. It's $70 for these damn Ewins. Are you crazy? I'm not buying this shit for you. So after that, I had such a. She ignited the fire by getting those for me. So all that did was make me hungry to go out here and grind for whatever else I wanted. So the thing was, back then it was like I was checking for what he had on. I was checking for, like I said, Rap City, Yo MTV Raps, and it was like, okay, that's what I'm copping when I get this bread up. I'm getting those.
I was 90, I was coming out of elementary school, going into high school.
Oh my God, 90! Yeah, 90. I was a sophomore.
And I was at that point. My first real kick that my mom bought me that was a tough one, and I talked about it on my kick store, was the Jordan 4. So that was what 80 what.
89.
89.
So once graduated high school.
Once I got that kick, and I showed her I could take care of it, and I was gonna do good, I got ticks until I was able to pay for my own.
So
So
I was
between 89 and like 92, when you're 15 to 16 and you can work, I was getting 1 or 2 dope pairs of shoes a year. And if I could get back my own money, it was on.
I graduated in 92. I got my first job. I've told this story. I was able to thank God for OSD, tell it directly to Tinker's ear. I got my first job to get a pair of Jordan 4s. So what Will Smith was wearing at the time was literally my demographic. And not only that, from an identification standpoint, he was a kid from the hood, moved to a neighborhood that he did not, belong in, went to a prep school. That was me. I was from the projects. I rode 3 buses. I went to a ritzy prep school and then had to, lurk my ass back home to the hood every night.
So you really did identify with him.
I identified with him 1-to-1.
I mean, I did a little bit too because I was going to school in a predominantly white area at the time, so I wasn't living on the block, and so to see this, you definitely, it really represented the culture.
Like I had a homeboy that we called Cornflake.
Yeah.
A little white homeboy that we called Cornflake, just like
But
that.
you know what's crazy? And the difference between y'all is I never went to a prep school. My mom was a school teacher, so I had to go to school at public school. So it was like when I was coming up during that same time, like I said, I was in middle school, and it was crazy because I looked to more so than those shows that I mentioned before. I looked to the streets more so, to the local drug dealers, to the my cousin was this big time athlete, so I always went to all his games. I never missed any of his games, and most of the clothes that I rocked were his hand-me-downs. I didn't, my mom would buy me stuff, and I'm like, I'm not wearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was literally to the point where I would pack a bag and put it in the woods. So my mom would be like, "Yo, this is your outfit." I'm like, "Man, it's some bullshit." You know what I'm saying? So by the time she left to go to work, and then I leave, I go change in the woods, put on my cousin's old shit that I thought was so hot. Then I put on, I have the kicks already, but I didn't spend no money on clothes. I spent money on all my money on shoes. I would literally cut like 5 or 6 yards at about $30 a pop, and then I would go cop the latest kick, and I'll be broke as hell for another 2 weeks until I cut some more grass. And then I'm going to cop another pair of shoes, and I would literally matching up all my kicks with all my cousins' hand-me-down clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way I did it. You know what I mean? So it was like I didn't really necessarily identify with Will Smith more so than I identified with where I was from and my hood. But it was like when I looked at him, I said, okay, damn, I might take a cue from him. I might take a cue from EPMD, because I was a big EPMD fan, and I thought at the time I thought Big Daddy Kane was just the motherfucking man. I thought he was just the best shit since like Brit. So I wanted to be smooth and laid back at the same time. So I took cues from all these people as well as the hood and made my own style. You know what I'm saying? So that was my influence.
See, for me, I was the other way around. Like I would actually clean. I made money at school cleaning other people's J's, because they had seen mine after ball season. Like Jesse said, I was off the court. It was time to wear them, and I could keep mine clean. And so that one pair of shoes is all I had, and so I would match up outfits. So I actually spent my little spare change on clothing. One good article here and a bunch of different tops and shirts. Like I was a regular at Jeans West, bruh. Yeah, Z Camel Reach, baby.
They don't know nothing about oh god, what was it? Circle something. Remember the Watertown Mall?
Oh my goodness, that was wrong.
I used to stay on it, and so it's interesting hearing these different perspectives based on this one fixed point in time. That's so interesting.
Exactly. And that's why I brought it up, was because I'm thinking 1990. I was already out of high school. I had already been working, making my own money for about 5 or 6 years already prior. So D can speak to this too, at that point in time where we were in our lives, like we wasn't wearing anything we couldn't have ourselves. We already was getting money and getting it too. We just wasn't on TV.
Right.
So for us, we were just checking the show because it was a good show. It's still one of the best shows to ever come on TV as far as the sitcom.
It's dope. And for me, it was a truer representation of where I was from, because of respect to the Cosby Show, and it is still my all-time favorite. Theo and his boys was mad corny.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
That didn't represent me.
You're right about that. And you know what? To a smaller extent, Will was kind of considered corny in my hood.
But that's the thing, is like I said, Will was not hard, and that's why I identify with him. I always joke with people now. I'm like, I grew up where I grew up. I'm not hard, but I'm rugged. I got some bumps and bruises. I ain't nobody's gangster, but I can hold my own. So to me that's what Will represented was.
But that's why it was okay to
not be gangster all the time.
Yeah. That's why the Cosby Show had to do a different world and put Dwayne Wade on it.
Exactly.
Because they understood
exactly what it is. Dwayne Wade,
not gonna happen with Theo, so we got to have somebody else that's nerdy, but
Dwayne Wayne was Will Smith. You are absolutely right. He was.
Absolutely.
Kadeem Hardison was their answer because Kadeem had all the fresh gear. He had the J's. He had all the Nikes and the Airs.
He
Him and
picked
Ron.
up from Will Smith so that
Both-
when you got
both him and
older,
Ron.
somebody you could pay attention to. Because
Yep,
when I stopped watching Fresh Prince, when I was watching the Cosby Show,
I like
definitely
Dwayne Wade, but I hated them fucking glasses. Them fucking
Man.
I hated those.
I
hated
had
them
joints,
joints.
boy. I even had something that came out like this.
I thought those were the corniest shit ever.
I'm hoping one day, because we interacted at some point online, I'm hoping one day we can get Kadeem Hardison on the show.
Man, bruh had gear.
That'd be crazy.
I'm hoping we can. I'm going to work on it because he has been down here in the streets of Brooklyn on occasion.
I just want him paper. All I want him to do is, we gonna sizzle.
I thought you said we were going to Sizzler.
Oh, man. So 24 years ago today, first episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, September 10th, 1990. Who remembers the network?
Network? That was NBC, wasn't it?
NBC, yeah, NBC.
Absolutely.
All right. That's right. So
You ain't messing with no jokers on here, dog.
right. Like we know what we talk about now.
I
You
had
have to
it
be
live.
careful who you be questioning now, son.
I asked who remembers the network because I had a hard time remembering.
Oh yeah. Now think about it. All those shows were on NBC.
Yeah, NBC was pioneer when it comes to that.
Yeah, all those shows were on NBC.
They gave everybody their little snip. Actually, we can blame NBC for doing this so well that they took the hood and sent it to suburbia for sure.
Right.
I was in the supermarket today, man, and at the end of the aisle, it had all of the old shows that are now on DVD, and I was like, I mean, every single one of them. I Dream of Jeannie, Chips, all of them. I was like, damn, I'm old. I was like, shit.
Now I'm gonna tell you what's really crazy is my son's favorite show now is Cosby Show, and remember Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Those are my son's favorite shows now. And like it blows my mind because we sit there and watch it together. Right. I used to watch Boy Meets World.
I ain't even going front.
Yeah, I was a big Topanga fan. So it was crazy that he watches that now, and you know they have a spinoff on it.
Look at D showing off.
What you got there, D?
Let's see
It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Wow.
So pretty. I'm gonna just leave it.
The White Man Can't Jump, right?
The hyper
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, man. That's what really makes you feel old is when you're watching these shows with your kids and they loving it, and it's like, yo, this is what I watched.
We got Mr. King watching us from a drone overhead right now.
B King, what's good?
What's going on, folks?
You in here from the equipment room at Kentucky Wildcats?
Yeah, got the vacuum out.
Find out you got some PEs popping back there.
I'm actually looking for a college basketball team, so I got to go on some official visits.
There we
Okay.
go.
Into my top 5, so there was a little gift for folks out at Nike. So.
Okay.
Right.
Are you heading out this way?
I wish.
I wish. Yeah,
Actually, no, you don't.
Hey, Brandon, I'm gonna need you to slow down with the push-ups and stuff, bro. All right? Just slow it up, okay? Show it off a little bit.
I can't run. All I do is lift weights, so. Telling the people at the gym, they asking me what kind of steroids I'm on now.
Tell them you're on that black steroid, goddamn. We got them good genetics. Sorry, it doesn't work for you. I know, he's so young. It's called being black. Stop hating it.
What you say, Jesse? He on that HGH, that hood growth hormone?
Hey, Brandon, pull up to the side and just be like, yo, it's called water. Tell nobody, that's a code name. Water. And then they're going to go around telling everybody that you said not to tell that it's water. I'm telling you, do it. Next time you
God.
he's on that fucking water.
Water. I heard him say it now.
Somebody gonna yell at you. He's on that fucking water. That's not natural.
Oh God.
Oh shit! Welcome, homie.
Pizza Concepts on the Brooks.
All right. So the shoe of the night. Concepts. Brooks. Chariot. Merlot. Have at it.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. These, you know, the only thing that could have been that could make this sneaker better is
The white sole.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I'm with paper. I'm with paper on this one. Normally, I don't have a problem with the white sole, but that needs some gum right there.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
That white sole is killing me.
But that's not. When was the last time you seen a white sole like that? Unless you've seen it on a white shoe. That's the only reason it works.
Talk logic to me right now.
Right. I don't want to hear that, Jesse. I don't want to hear that shit.
I don't care if you want to hear the shit or not. I like it. I think it's hot as hell. It's from the bean, and I want to cop it. Talk about it needs some gum. No,
don't talk all this common sense and shit. Don't nobody want to hear this common sense.
I'm out of here with that bullshit. It needs a little gum. No, it don't. You want some gum? You can get some Nike duck boots or some shit.
What exactly? That's what I want to know. Like, what made Concepts decide to go with a Brooks sneaker? I mean,
Brooks came to them.
Hey, but guess what? The execution is dope, but Brooks is one of those like slept-on company. A lot of people aren't paying attention to Brooks.
I was just talking to somebody.
Runners are, right? I know people that run marathons, they swear by their Brooks. But
I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day. I really wish, instead of partnering with Reebok, that Dominique would have went on and partnered with Brooks and brought that back out.
Hold on a minute. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. We are going to have a representative from Brooks on the show not too far from now in the not too distant future.
Okay.
And the very reason why I reached out to them to begin with is because the highlight is scheduled to come back out.
It is.
Oh.
Yes.
Now I might, if they make it, if they don't even make it in my side, I might cop it anyway. That shoe spoke to me because I was such a big Dominique fan growing up, man. That like I hated Jordan. I know I say this on the regular, but I hated him with a passion because I loved Dominique so much, and I thought, man, everybody was on the Jordan bad way. I'm like, man, fuck Jordan. I'm Dominique till I die. Like, Neek is magnifique. It was all about Neek was magnifique down here. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I love Dominique, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. If they bring that back out, I'm on that. Like, even if they don't make my size, I might cop it just to put it in a box and just look at that shit.
I got some news for you, Heat. Word just came down from the Atlanta Hawks management, in particular Danny Ferry. You can't buy those.
You're African and you have a little baggage, so you can't.
I don't even want to talk about my Hawks right now because I'm real salty with them right now. I'm just hoping and praying that Dominique. The rumor I heard today was Dominique was actually trying to buy he's trying to buy the main part of the team. You know, he's trying to become the main owner with a couple other people. So I'm hoping that if he gets that, then that'll be like prayers answered because we've had the most dysfunctional ownership group in the last 10 years.
No, you haven't.
You know why?
No, you haven't.
Yeah, pretty much.
As D illustrates, there's a pair on eBay for $24.99 starting bid.
Word.
Highlight Juniors.
Shit, I might have to. What size is that?
It looks like kid size.
Yeah, I want to say let's see, size 3.
Yeah.
And my baby girl might still be able to wear those.
There you go.
So ain't nobody gonna be able to get on a size 3.
Didn't I just tell you what Danny Ferry said?
You know what?
You got a little
listen,
bit of African in you. You can't wear
Hey,
the.
you heard it here first, man. Fuck Danny Ferry, old mom. I'm so disappointed in him, dude. And I was loving Danny Ferry because he got rid of the Joe Johnson contract. I was all on the band. I was like, yeah, Danny Ferry doing his thing. Man, I can't stand his ass after this shit, this debacle. You tell Danny Ferry I'm looking for his ass. How about that?
Why he got rid of Joe Johnson, right?
Yeah, because y'all wanted to do something and y'all want to take his big ass. I appreciate that, Brooklyn. Appreciate that.
No, he got rid of him because he didn't have enough African in him. Luol Deng had too much.
Wow.
Joe Johnson didn't have enough.
I still can't believe he even came out of his mouth. He said, yeah, he's African, but not in a bad way. It's just,
he said
he'll
got a
sell.
little bit of African in him.
What did he say? He'll sell you the good shit.
He's still out front, but a bootleg still in the back.
He's saying he didn't say it, right?
Yeah,
shit.
If he repeated it or something.
Right, he repeated it, and it really wasn't him. He was just stating
reading off the paper.
Right, I was just reading the paper and the report that was given to me. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Even when Danny Ferry came out of he was a Carolina kid, wasn't he?
He went to Duke. We ain't claiming. North Carolina ain't claiming that shit.
Okay, about to say we should have known coming out of Duke at that time, because ain't nothing come out of Duke besides him and what Leitner. It's like we should have known.
Come on, you got Grant Hill. Let's not forget Grant Hill. Come on.
I remember. I'm just saying. Before them, Grant Hill was after. You had Leitner, you had Ferry, you had a couple other. You were like, really?
Well, a lot of people don't realize Ferry has only got as far as he's gotten is because of his father. So a lot of people don't realize his father actually used to be a general manager too. So that's his real connections.
Hold on a second.
The reason why he.
Hold on a second. Screw Danny Ferry. D just put something sexy up on the screen.
Ooh, what's that?
No, he did not put anything sexy on the screen.
Yeah, he did.
You co-signing this crap?
Those are beautiful.
I kind of like those.
This crap.
Oh,
I kind of like
right
these.
there.
Man.
Don't change that view.
I kind of like these.
Come on. The bring back?
No. You look like clown feet.
Mute him.
I know.
Mute him.
Hold on a second.
Gold paint.
That's that New England bias where only people from Boston feel like stars can be on New England apparel. See,
that's what it is.
And zip high.
That's
They
that.
should have had those stars. They should have had those stars in when they got their ass whipped by Miami this weekend.
This is some bullshit. Hey, you went into overtime too. Don't talk yet.
Hey! Did we win or not?
Oh God. Let's talk about this ugly ass shoe. Let's not talk about football yet.
No, what you mean?
I'm loving this shoe.
At first, I looked at this and I thought this was that dude Mayer, and that's why another reason I was like, oh, I'm not paying attention to this. Oh, it's Major at the store. My fault. I didn't even. I'm not even reading.
The hate on Mayer. What you got against Mayer?
The shoe is beautiful.
Come on, Sean.
Dude, that shoe is
color blocking.
That shoe is lovely.
Yo,
nobody's gonna mute this dude.
They have to be bold that way, Jesse. They have to be.
Mute him.
I don't even know why you argue with Jesse. He hates everything. He's just static noise. I stopped arguing with Jesse a long time ago.
Jesse is the Grinch that stole sneakers. That's what he is.
You can show Jesse a white.
I usually don't speak up. I let people have their opinion. But if it's ugly, I ain't gonna lie to you.
You show Jesse a white.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Show Jesse a white shoe, and Jesse would be like, "Look at the color blocking. I hate the color blocking."
Like, Jesse, from now on your lower third, you have to put the Grinch that stole sneakers.
Right. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Hey Jesse, what do you think of this all white shoe? I don't like the color blocking. What?
You know what? Every week we need to ask Jesse exactly what do you like.
Jesse's
we lost Kadoma. Kadoma would have been in on this one.
Well, that's the. You know what? He's on the other end of the spectrum. Kadoma likes everything, though.
Yeah, he positive K.
Yeah,
Positive.
it's positive K and negative J. That's my man. I love Jesse, man. I love him.
You right. I can't say shit when it comes to this.
Positive K and negative J. You know what? Y'all ought to start your own podcast, man. That would be beautiful. Positive K and negative J.
Oh no, that was awesome.
It's hilarious. That shoe is majority blue, and Jesse was like, "Look at the color blocking."
What's the intel we got on these?
All I know is this is the year, the 25th anniversary of the Bring Back. So we're going to be seeing a lot of this going into 2015.
Has it been 5 years already since the Bring Back dropped its 20th anniversary?
Yeah, that's exactly what
no, it's only been 4, but they're doing a lead-in.
Yeah, yeah.
Time flies, y'all.
Coming out, what, this Saturday, September 13th at Major in DC?
Yep.
I like that shoe. That blue is sweet.
The stars glow in the dark.
Word.
I know they lost me on that part.
Look at negative J. Look at negative J. Look at him. Look at him.
He's mad as hell right now.
He is.
I think they're dope.
Please.
Yo, his head is about to explode.
A week so that I can watch Jesse just.
I didn't need the stars to be. It was still beautiful.
I can't even look at the shoe anymore. I gotta look at Jesse, man. This dude is way too funny. He's way too funny, man.
Mr. King.
Yes, sir.
From your drone. What do you think of this major DC pump bring back?
He does look like he's in space.
Okay, y'all might have to mute me too. I'm not really.
Yeah, see? Yeah, see?
But look at how calmly he said, "Nah, man, nah."
Right.
Jesse was like, "Burn it."
There's some things that are nah, man, and then there's some things that are burning. And to me, that's burning.
He said he just so happy. He happy to have somebody on his side. He don't know what to do.
Hey,
Jesse was like, "Nah, man, it's in my eye."
I ain't worried about it, yo. That shit is ugly. Y'all know that shit is ugly. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
But Jesse, tell me this, because I think the majority of us who have said we liked it actually like the original. Did you ever like the original pump?
Absolutely not. The only pump I give any credit to was the D Brown. Period.
You already got a bias working against you because it could be the most beautiful color blocking ever, and you wouldn't like the shoe. Me, I own the original pump, not the fucking bring back. I had the Reebok pump in white, orange, and blue, and I balled in it every single day. Original. So I like.
You actually ball in this shoe. How did it? Because I couldn't ball in. I had the original, but I couldn't ball in it.
It was heavy as hell.
Damn right.
You know what's funny is I like heavy shoes because I'm big.
You know what? It was great.
But I didn't like the whole pressure with the pump thing. The pump thing was cool. I didn't like that. It was uncomfortable to me.
To me, that's the only thing that allowed me to wear it was the pump because it was a big, heavy shoe, and I was a little beanpole in high school. And everybody knows, I make no bones about it, I wore Reebok heavily in high school when I balled until my school got sponsored by Nike, and then we we had the Air Force line. So with this, the pump actually snugged that big shoe around my foot so I could actually run in it. Other than that, I would have been swimming. So
when you wear 13s, when you're 14 and 14 when you're 15, you don't really need anything that snug it up. You already got enough foot. You got enough foot to make it snug. You know? Right, I didn't have that problem.
You smooth criminal leaning.
You were so skinny back then you could do the Michael Jackson lean just by leaning forward in your shoe.
Smooth criminal leaning.
Wow. So Mr. King.
Yes, sir.
You were about to say mute you. Why? You don't like these? What don't you like about them? I don't like the fact that the stars glow in the dark. I need to say that. I hate glow in the dark anything. I'm fucking 43 years old.
Oh, I add that to the list. I didn't know that. I don't know.
He said add that to the list.
I really want to like this shoe, but I just can't. I don't know if it's the color, and blue is my favorite color. I mean, I don't know if
Is it the gold?
I don't know. It's just the way it comes. I don't know if it's the color blocking or what.
Oh, wow.
And I like blue. I like gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't get with this one though.
I think what sets this shoe off more than anything, and I'm not a fan of gold necessarily, but I like the little accents of gold on here.
If that was any other color, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm really feeling is the accents of gold.
Maybe
And
I do like silver, but that's
This color don't work.
Nothing ever works.
I'm about to say you don't like this shoe, so why?
I talked about a shoe I like. Now all of a sudden I don't like anything.
No, let me tell you.
No, you just don't like this shoe. You already stated you don't like this shoe.
Let me tell y'all a story about Jesse. Jesse took me shopping. Right? Jesse put a shoe in my hand. Like he was like, "Yo, dog, check this out." I grabbed it and he was like, "I don't like it though." Every shoe we had. I'm like, how you gonna show me this shit? And you don't like it?
No, he just wanted to bring to the fact that he didn't like that shit. That's all. He wanted to let you know he didn't like it.
Yeah, it's like bullying a kid at lunch. You know, you put it in his hand and you smack it out his hand.
That's just like the player hated ball on Chappelle's show.
Right.
I hate you, kid, and I hope that you die. May the worst thing you like all happen to you.
How did this get to the Jesse Hate show? I don't understand.
Because it's hilarious.
Oh, God.
And Jesse, you know why? Because it's good for the viewers. That's all. We know you don't.
Right. Look, Jesse, it's who you are. That's all.
That's right. I'm always going to tell you the truth. It's ugly. I'm going to tell you in the boardroom. I'm going to tell you on the show. Yeah, that shit is whack, son.
He's going to tell you when he puts it in your hand.
D's over there crying right now.
Look, the shoe companies don't even want you near any of their shit. They're like, he's not going to like
Nah, that's why they don't want me back in.
Don't even ask him. Don't ask him. We'll never have anything come out if you ask him.
What's that out for?
Hey, just be like this. Just be like this.
Right.
I'm telling you, man, if y'all could have seen it, it was the most hilarious. As a matter of fact, wait, Jesse, I got the very shoe. Jesse actually called in a favor for me.
About the TMZ you.
This shoe was sitting on the shelf. It was not in my size. Jesse picked it up, was like, "It's fresh. Yo, did you see this? Hold on." Called the lady over. He knew her. He was like, "Yo, can you check in the back for me for this? He was like, "That's fresh." I put it on my foot, and Jesse was like, "I couldn't do it, though." Dude, we cracked up about that shit.
One thing I love about Jesse, though, is whatever shoe he actually gets, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, he loves that shoe. Because there ain't too many shoes he likes. So, you know what I'm saying? For him to cop a shoe, he really got to fuck with that shoe.
Love.
Make no mistake.
Right.
Look at D.
Yeah, exactly. Everything looks like it stinks to Jesse.
Oh, man. I love it.
I'm gonna get
Shout out to Jesse, man. You gotta love Jesse. Man.
I love it.
I'm gonna get Jesse an interview for a certain footwear company. I'm gonna tell the interviewer, put your ugly shit on the table when you interview. Ugly shit. Surround him with your shit.
And I'm gonna be like, is this an ashtray or a light? Like, can we get rid of this shit?
I'm gonna be like, see if he can keep a straight face. Jesse be like, yeah, so basically, oh, gosh.
Look like something in the room stinks.
Don't do that, because you know I hurt some feelings, dog. You're like,
shit.
You can't put that in front of me. That's some
what a great way to end episode number 319. We're talking about saying it with your soul. Look at that. Say it with your soul.
That's too good.
Oh, man. So we're just about done with episode number 319. Say it with your soul. We got to recap real quick before we wrap up the episode. We talked about Under Armour surpassing Adidas in sales in the U.S. We spoke about Pensole and Adidas Earn Your Stripes 3-week program going on right now. We spoke about today being the 24th anniversary of the debut of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We also had to remind you about some events coming up. We're talking Sneaker Summit invades New York Sneaker Summit in conjunction with the Source magazine, Source 360, on Sunday, September 21st. Hit up sneakersummit.com. Boston Sneaker Jam is going down. 2-day event. Lock down your 48 hours. Let's go. BostonSneakerJam.com. Hit them up for details. Shoes, we spoke about the concepts and Brooks' collaboration on the Chariot. Sexy shoe. Sexy, sexy time. And we round out the show talking about the Major DC Reebok collaboration on the Bring Back Pump. And we also spoke a little bit about Jesse and the bitter beer face.
Oh my God! This is one of the best.
Let me plug some of our people. They got, if you're in the Atlanta area this weekend, they got Kicks Fair going down, and it's supposed to be a pretty big event this time around. Mm-hmm. It's going to be at Turner Field, so that's the first time that's popped off in the Braves field. So that'll be interesting. I'll definitely be trying to check that out and report back to the show. So if you're in the Atlanta area, holler at your boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jesse, is he there? Did we lose him, Jesse?
No, he here.
I'm here.
Where are we checking for your latest exploits?
Right here on OSDLive.com, where I cannot hate anything.
And where else? Where else are we checking for your exploits, sir?
Also on your Instagram, CTMP_, where you can catch all of my photos and recent works. So please jump on there, support, check it out, give me some feedback as I grow the hobby and the profession. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. King?
Catch me on Twitter and Instagram at Sneaker Shop Talk, all one word, and here on YouTube at Air Jordan 14.
All right. And oh my goodness, Mr. Ridiculous Creative, you want to share your latest exploits with us?
Oh man, stay up with me on all social media, Ridiculous1, RDQLUS and the number 1, or you can go to ridiculous.com, RDQLUS.com to keep up with what I'm up to. Yeah, I'm always chatting about something.
Do we have any more ridiculous branded product for sale?
It will be coming in the fall. I'm scaling back on doing volume. What I want to do is more custom things. I have a Letterman's jacket coming up. I'll be doing some cut and sew scarves.
Oh.
And
you're the Letterman?
Yeah.
I might have to check you out.
Yeah. And the Letterman, hopefully, fingers crossed, if I can source everything, the Lettermans will be made to order. So what I'll do is I'll source the pieces and parts, and I'll need about 3 to 4 weeks to deliver. But that's the thing, is I want to, I make no bones about it. I want to be the Jeff Staple here in the Midwest, consulting on brands, elevating things, or better yet, I want to be BASF. I don't make the things you buy. I make the things you buy better.
Right, better. I like it.
Now your Letterman's jacket, is that the one where you're going to use baby fetus leather?
Wow.
I'm done with you. Oh, yeah, tripping.
Look at your face.
This is why I love my crew. My crew is better than your crew. Anybody out there watching, I love my crew.
Oh, man.
Y'all crazy.
Damn. I got it.
Oh, man. D. Wells is on it. D. Wells. What are you doing?
You're a mean one.
Oh, my God.
I should have won the voiceover.
Oh man!
It ain't too late. It ain't too late.
Oh man. No
I embrace it.
no disrespect. Ain't nobody's crew like us, y'all.
Yo, you know he cold blooded when a motherfucker will steal the damn ornaments off the tree. He's a cold blooded motherfucker right there. Look, he taking candy canes from a damn baby. That's some cold blooded shit, yo.
Oh my God! Somebody get Jesse a pair of Kobe's to wear on special occasions. He needs some Grinches.
I'm about to find him some Grinch. I gotta find him the Grinch, the Kobe Grinch. That's what I gotta find him.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
Look at him get everything off the tree. This is a cold-blooded motherfucker right here.
Oh
my
man!
God, this is one of the best shows. This goes down.
As we play out. Oh man! And you can follow me and us, OSD Live, on Twitter, on Instagram. Follow us on Google Plus and our individual handles. Also, you can make sure that you hit up the OSD group on Facebook, OSD-Obsessive Sneaker Disorder. Group is at about almost 1,900 members and counting. So you guys, every day we continue to get new members. So we appreciate the love. We'll be here again next week.
Don't forget about the stock, folks.
What's that?
Don't forget about the stock, folks.
That's correct. Once again, hashtag OSD Invest. Every day, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or a little later. We publish 10 stocks that we watch, and the results of how they did in the day's trading, Monday through Friday. Catch that on Twitter, on Google Plus, and also on Facebook in the OSD group. So, other side of the game, y'all. Get involved. So, we'll be back next week, D. Wells. Time to ride out, homie.
Absolutely. Y'all been good. It's been another episode. Thanks for rocking with us. Episode 319 is in the books. Tell your people to come walk with us, talk with us, and more importantly, bear their soul with us. Until next time, be safe. Keep your laces tight, tight your tongue loose.